Happy Halloween, Carly here, and it's time to grab our sketchbooks and draw some spooky spooks. Let's go! So for this design I really wanted to add a Halloween theme but also bring in the season, as it is autumn or fall as people call it because the leaves fall down, and I couldn't get that out of my head. Leaves fall down, it's fall, it's autumn. My Halloween character on is Leaves. I really liked this because Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas is also stuffed with fallen leaves, which I found is really cute. And not what I was expecting when I first watched that movie as a kid. So I mainly just started thumbnailing, coming up with basic ideas or shapes I could use for the character, as I didn't really want to do a human character. Humans get enough spotlight, it's time for the creepy creatures to come around. Although I was liking the very leaves as a flowing cape and hat, similar to the witch aesthetic, so yeah, this is going to be a witch character, which will not be a human type of witch. It will be a autumn witch, a spirit of some sort, who knows. Maybe they'd be in the episode of The Garden Wall. Who knows, that would be amazing. I need to rewatch that. So as you can see, I've started to just play around with the idea using the shape of basic leaves, and I ended up coming up with this very cute sketch. Now, when designing, I only wanted one character, but then I have been playing a lot of Pokemon. I recently found my old Pokemon White game, and because of that, I just had to make a mini version of this, like, autumn leaf witch. So there is a teeny tiny version, all fluffy and covered in leaves, and then she grows up into this big, elegant, powerful leaf spirit that changes the wind and the leaves for the season, which I found is very cute. Kind of similar to the fairies in Tinkerbell, I guess. And I really liked how I was able to use like just the simplest shapes to really give these characters the detail and kind of lack of detail, because too much detail can ruin something depending on the style you're going for. I know that the witch's hat is kind of a cliche, but for Halloween I can embrace that and really try to make it a centerpiece of the character's design. I definitely wanted the two designs to be linked in a way, and for that it would have to be like the leaf hat sort of thing. So I like to think of the idea as when the little witch character grows up and or evolves, or however the transformation works in this strange universe I've made, all their leaves kind of just get shoved into their hat, and then they are able to get some like freshly fallen leaves and make their own elegant witch's cloak. And then maybe they could even like start sprouting branches from the top of their hat due to all the leaves and foliage that are just in the hat. I think that would be a really cute idea. I'm also really in love with the little design I made for like the little baby witch, I guess you could say. It kind of reminds me of those soot sprites from the Spirited Away movies, where it's just a ball of fluff. And I've just decided to put a hat on it and legs. Yeah. It's amazing that a lot of really cute designs are just balls of fluff with accessories. Maybe I could do that as a series. Although the only time I ever seem to do videos is around the time of Halloween. Not because I don't have any other videos, I've got tons of them. I just don't like recording myself. I really like when designing something or just making something for a quick video or prompt, that in your head you somehow just end up making entire worlds or lore for these creatures, and then you end up getting like a little obsessed, because originally I just wanted one design, and then it ended up being 3 designs, and then it was 2. I was going to have 3 different types of Halloween monsters, so like one based off leaves, one based off pumpkins, and one based off sweets. And maybe I'll do the other ones another time or something. Maybe I could do like a cute little autumn themed comic, or just something cute. As we don't really have too much stuff like that, like fall and autumn, they're very interesting times of years. They make you feel warm and snuggly, but they also they're bringing the darkness of winter with them, and it can kind of be a bit unsettling or sad. But I can understand why a lot of people like it, and I'm not just saying that because my birthday's in autumn either. Think of media such as Over the Garden Wall. It's an amazing piece, and it's not even technically themed around Halloween, I don't think. It's more like, well, I think it is and it isn't. That's the thing, it's like a, oh god, what do you say? Victorian Gothic, I guess, but also kind of like the whole spirit of the season, with like how Wart is called a pilgrim and stuff like that. And obviously it just feels like a whole bunch of little story tales all kind of smushed together, but they're walking through them bit by bit, and it's actually quite nice. I'm not explaining this too well. I should probably start scripting these videos, but I'll take classes, I suppose. Onward to the second stage of designing my characters. So I use vector lines in Clip Studio Paint, and I really like them because I can just do the lines, and then I can use vector to make the lines have a nice form or shape. It saves me quite a bit of time when I'm working on multiple projects at once. And I also used grayscale to try to find the best balance of colours, because I wanted their main colour scheme to be orange like the fallen leaves, and how they go into like that rustic dark red and then into brown, and it's lovely. But they have very different hues. And orange can be a bit tricky to work with sometimes, as it can be too bright and give off more of a neon punk like party vibe, I guess. But overall, with my grayscaling and colours, I really like how it's turned out. I did end up using a little extra like reddish, just to add a bit more detail, and I did go for some creams just to help out a bit. But overall, I really like how it's coming along. There's not too many colours, as that has always been a big issue with some of my work, where I add too many colours and then it looks like a complete mess, and I look back and I'm like, what? Why? How? So yeah, I did feel like that something was missing in my colour palette though. It felt kind of like there wasn't a contrast to help like bring out all the other colours, and so I started thinking how I could use the opposite of orange, but that didn't really work because blue, and then I started thinking what comes before fall or autumn, and that would be summer and spring, which are based more around greens and pinks. And I think just that little tinge of green definitely helps when it comes to like bouncing off of the cream and oranges, and even the really nice brownish red. It kind of reminds me of like a cherry wood kind of, or like a redwood, I guess that makes sense. I definitely didn't want to make these characters too overly complicated, because they had such simplistic shapes, and if I kind of went overboard, it might take away too much from the original design that I was hoping for. And this is where like the backgrounds come in. You don't want your backgrounds to overshadow your main piece, which is why you see in animation and some others forms of media that like the background is in more of a painterly style while the characters have lines, and it's not just for them to stand out, it's also to make animating easier. Once again, like Over the Garden Wall. Can you tell that show kind of brings out the obsession or obsessiveness in the ones who like it this year? I think me and a few others are just very starved for some good Halloween stuff. God, I miss the good stuff. Oh well, some of the stuff we've been getting hasn't been too bad. Netflix has got a lot of stuff which I have not watched because they have Monster House instead, and Monster House is like, yes please. I really like that movie because I'm not sure if it's like 3D or if it looks like stop motion, so I'm just going to say it is, but it might not be. I haven't done any research, but I really like that movie. It scared the crap out of me as a kid, and you know it's a good movie when it does that, similar to like Beetlejuice. Oh, I miss that show too. I'm going to be watching a lot of Halloween movies tonight. Fingers crossed the trick-or-treaters won't bug me too much. So back to my witches. It was quite difficult trying to come up with a background, but I ended up going with something really cute, as I didn't want them to be like consumed by darkness, because they're very cute and you kind of don't want to lose all the nice colours and detail sometimes. So I really like the idea of putting them in a more magical glowy setting, and so that's how it is on a lovely walk in the woods. Thanks so much for watching my video. Have a happy Halloween and stay spooky.